Hi everyone, Father Lamb here. It's Wednesday, December 1st, and it's Advent, a wonderful, wonderful time of year. Before I begin with a little bit of reflection today, I just want to mention to you a reminder that we have Jingle Bucks tickets for sale, our yearly fundraiser. They're $100 a ticket, but you can win $10,000. So I just want to remind you of that. Call the rectory if you'd like some tickets, or you can get them after any one of the masses on Saturday night or Sunday. So thank you for your support. We've been kind of going through these, different ways of St. Ignatius showing us his different rules of discernment, and actually now we're on rule number 12. So let's get right to it. I like to read number 12, and the metaphor he uses, as very often with different metaphors, sometimes they can grate against you or they can kind of annoy you. And sometimes when things annoy us, we're hearing them well, and maybe we just need to enter more deeply into this metaphor. Just take it at face value. But these are Ignatius's words, the 12th rule. The enemy, the devil, the enemy acts like a woman in being weak when faced with strength and strong when faced with weakness. For as it is proper to a woman, when she is fighting with some man, to lose heart and to flee when the man confronts her firmly. And on the contrary, if the man begins to flee, losing heart, the anger, vengeance, and ferocity of a woman grow greatly and show no bounds. So the enemy is weak when faced with strength and strong when faced with weakness. So just look at that analogy for a moment when it comes to our spiritual lives. Because here's the metaphor, the way that he explains it. He says, here's how you apply the metaphor. In the same way, he says, it's proper to the enemy, the devil, to weaken and lose heart, fleeing and ceasing his temptations, when the person who is exercising himself in spiritual things confronts the temptations of the enemy firmly, doing what is diametrically opposed to them. On the contrary, if the person who is exercising himself begins to be afraid and lose heart in suffering the temptations, there is no beast so fierce on the face of the earth as the enemy of human nature in following out his damnable intention with such growing malice. On the one hand, it sounds like Ignatius is talking about something that's so obvious. If you have some temptation coming to you, he's saying, stop it right away. And you think, well, of course. But a lot of times we don't. And we don't recognize the voice of being coming from the enemy. And it can be something so simple. It can be like, okay, it's time for evening prayer. All right, it's time for you to say your evening prayers. And another voice says, well, I don't have to do them right now. I can do them later. Yeah, okay, I can do them later. But later comes, and you may not be as with it as, you might be sleepy, or you may not even do them at all and you blow them off, and their evening prayer goes. To nip it in the bud is as simple as this. When you hear the voice saying, I don't have to do that right now, say, no, I do need to do it now. I made a commitment to do evening prayer, and I'm going to do it. And the temptation flees right away. I invite you to try that this week with especially any of the deadly sins. When your ego comes up and you're like jumping in with your ego, or anger comes up, it's about nipping it in the bud. If you let it go, you start getting angry and you let that thing get energy, when you get down the road, you're too far to get back. But if you nip it right away and say, nope, I'm not going down that road. There's nothing good there. This is the voice of the enemy, and you resist it, then you have your integrity and you keep that temptation at bay. It's a very simple little teaching that he's trying to get across to us. And it's something that you and I can do in our spiritual lives. So this week, you find yourself, especially as I said a moment ago, getting pulled into any of the deadly sins. Resist them right away and just watch what happens to your spirituality, that you feel that peace. But if you don't resist them right away and you start walking down that road, it's really hard to get back. So any of the deadly sins, your pride, anger, gluttony or greed, I want to eat that whole pie. No, maybe I'll just have a little sliver, nip it in the bud, Lust, anytime you start look at someone impurely or looking impure, nip it in the bud before you go down that road, because that becomes a waste of time and a hard way to come back. And envy and sloth, the same thing. Any one of these sins, tempted to laziness, I put it off till tomorrow, all that. Let me do what I told God I would do today and just get her done. So this week, keep it real simple. Let's allow ourselves, with God's grace, to face those temptations right away, nip them in the bud, say no, and allow that grace into our hearts. God bless you.